I know where it's at. I got that one. I was practically raised dancing with my daddy. He and my mom danced. That was their thing. That's how they courted. That's what they did. And I was dancing with him when I could only reach his elbow on the ballroom floor because that's what we did. You know, you dance on the ballroom floor. So I love to dance. Hi, Daddy. Hi, Mommy. Love you wherever you are. I know you're dancing. Good morning, everybody. How is everybody? Hi, James and Kevin and the Baileys. Congratulations. My talk today, it's fabulous what everybody's been talking about. The title is Stress and Struggle or Freedom and Joy. Let me think. Stress and struggle. Stress and struggle. You know, so here's the thing. Why, oh why, oh why do we so often choose stress and struggle when we could choose freedom and joy? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And having chosen stress and struggle, we convince ourselves that it's real and that it's got a hold of us and it will not let us go. Oh, and it's so hard. You know, I mean, you try and you try and you try. And the harder we try, the worse it gets. Did you ever notice that? The harder we try, the worse it gets. Absolutely. So I have an incredible story to share with you that I got permission from our fabulous Connie Millner to share today. And to me, from the time I walked into this center, Connie Millner has been one of those bright lights. I thought she was a practitioner from the beginning, and to me she still is. But the truth is that she just completed her practitioner training like a week ago. And fabulous. The 2-year practitioner training is extremely deep, extremely intense. Everything that you ever thought would never come up in your life comes up to be healed in practitioner. So we're all like rolling on the floor going, oh my God, I can't even take it. And ministerial, which is 2 years also, is a lot about learning how to run a church. I mean, you're still working on your spiritual work, but the real depth, the real digging out and clearing out and healing and revealing who we really are, that work is done in the practitioner training. So Connie found herself unable to pay the balance on her tuition so that she could take, having graduated with the written exam with a 95 out of 100, thank you very much, she would not be able to take the oral exams because they didn't have the money. And she started freaking out. She called me, we treated on it, and we kept texting back and forth. And she said, this is what she wrote, because we've been doing this for a while after I asked her permission. She said, the more I held on to the thought that I have to be a practitioner, I have to take this exam, and I will do whatever it takes for me to take that exam. And the doors just kept closing until she finally got to the point, she said, I had become a boa constrictor of my own thoughts, squeezing out any possible circulation that could happen. Because fear contracts us. While faith and love and joy expand, fear contracts us. And when it does that, all of the opportunities that are available, everything that's out there, suddenly looks like it's gone. It isn't gone, but we're not open to it. We can't see it. So she said eventually, through our work together, and I kept convincing her that she was doing the work, that everything she needed had already been provided, and all she needed to do was trust that. She said, I finally came to the place when I said, okay, if I'm not supposed to be a practitioner, then this is, buckets of the boxes of Kleenex that we're going through day after. I mean, it's hard. It's very, very hard when you've worked so hard to get to the very pinnacle of the completion of your dream, and it looks like it's taken away from you. And she said, I finally came to the place where I said, thy will be done. If it's not supposed to be, then thy will be done. There must be something else for me to be. So she was starting to let go. And she said, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Who's thy? Wait just a minute here. Who's thy? So she said, no, thy will, Connie Millner, be done. I'm God. My will be done here. Whatever that is, it's going to be my will, Connie Milner. I don't need to go anyplace for that. So money started opening and flowing in. They had their rent, they had this, they had that, but they still didn't have enough money for tuition. And she just kept working and working and working. And then she said, lo and behold, it fell out of the sky. It just showed up. And she's going to take her oral panels on, not this Monday, they moved it. Yes, and she's going to do that. So let's give her a round of applause. Absolutely. She wrote, I'm so grateful for your gentle encouragement and faith in me. It helped me get out of my own way. Nobody's in our way but us. And it's all up here. It's all up here. We know that, don't we? To surrender to love in a big way, I got to a place where I could stop hanging on so tight. She said, I so restricted my own power. Now, finally, I'm letting go. See, Reverend Dr. Jesse Jennings used water skiing as an analogy, and I loved it. I tried it once. I got up, and then I got down a few times, and I went, okay, done that. I don't have to do that one again. But he said the hardest thing to teach in water skiing is letting go of the rope. He said, when you fall, let go. So if you don't let go, he said, but we all want to hang on to something. So we hold on to the rope and we go bouncing across the water on our faces. And it's not fun, and it's not pretty, but we do it anyway sometimes. And eventually we let go. Do we not? I'm still not there. I did let go. But we have to trust that the water's going to support us long enough for our ever-watchful team who are in the boat going, let go of the rope. Let go. And we're going, no, I don't want to let go. I don't want to let go. I'm telling you, it's very cool. So Masando Hiraoka, who's also a practitioner and a minister in training, wrote, when I'm brought to my knees by life, surrender washed over me, asking me to give up the fight, to let go of my grip on life, my desire to try to control it, to try to make it come out like I think it's supposed to come out. Don't we do that? We have an idea about how we think it's supposed to be. And they're not doing it that way, our way. And so we get all upset about that. But here's the trap for us as religious scientists. I feel like I'm failing. Anybody ever done that one? In my ability to apply signs and mind principles to my life. Connie went through that as well. But no, I feel like she said, I'm not doing the work. That's the work. That is the work. To come up against it, to smack up, to use every single solitary thing you could possibly think of to try to get what it is you think you need, and then to finally surrender and let go and trust when there's nothing there apparent, but you know that there is something there. We just haven't seen it yet, that's all. And in the letting go, what wants to come forward can then rise up and show itself to us. So that's a trap for us, to feel like we're failing. You're not failing, ever. We're doing the work every day, every minute of every day. And he said, that's when I get the most sad, confused, and angry. And he said, surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means that we're calling on something deeper. We're calling on that ground of our being, that when we're up against the wall and we finally give up, then it shows up. And it shows up in a wonderful, easy, light way. So I'm starting my class on Wednesday, called Stress and Struggle, or Freedom and Joy. Funny that happened, wasn't it? But anyway, what I was going to say about that. So there's a company called the Needham Company. Has anybody ever made a mistake? That's what I was going to say. Anybody ever, besides me, ever? Come on. So there's a company called the Needham Company, who's now probably in the billions, very, very successful company, who've developed a culture of celebrating what we might call mistakes. So they have a big gong. And when anybody notices a mistake anywhere in their company, somebody rings the gong. They're all over the place. Somebody rings the gong, and everybody stops. Because everybody wants to know what the mistake was that just took place so that they can all learn from it. So they've developed a culture of celebrating their mistakes, which they call learning experiences, instead of punishing someone who was willing to step out on a limb and try something that maybe no one had ever tried before to see if it would work. That's how we discover new stuff, isn't it? That's how we discover new stuff. So, are we human or are we dancer? Are we human? Are we our conditions? Are we being stuck? Are we the relationship that didn't work, or the bills that need to be paid, or the car that broke down, or the kids that ran away or didn't run away? You know, or are we dancers? So dancer to me means flow. When I think dancer, I think flow, I think energy, I think movement. And so the opposite of that would be being stuck in our stuff. So are we stuck in our stuff, or are we in flow? So they call that, are you more of a wave or more of a particle? So the particle is when everything like becomes solidified. But the rest of the time, we're just wave. We're just energy. We're just light. We're love and joy and peace and power and all of the attributes of God. Looking, waiting to see what's opening next, what's coming next. It's so exciting. It's so good. We forget that we made a choice. Somewhere along the line, we made a choice. We chose that. We chose to hang on to the rope a little bit too long. We always let go. But we're learning to let go sooner and sooner, aren't we? Yeah, I'm learning to let go sooner and sooner. It sometimes takes me a while, but I always get there. And it feels so good. It feels so clean. It feels so fresh when we've let go of the rope. The words say, I did my best to notice when the call came down the line. So what's calling you? What's calling you? What's calling me? What's trying to get our attention to step out in a greater way in the world and be who we come here to be? Up to the platform of surrender I was brought, but I was kind. I sometimes get nervous when I see an open door. Anybody do that? Somebody opened something. I watched a movie last night, and he said, so come away with me. They'd known each other for about 8 hours. Come away with me. We'll go to Greece. And have you ever been to Paris? No. We'll go to Paris. We'll go to Greece. We'll go to, and I'll be your music manager, and I'll make you a star, and I'll do this. And she said, no, not going to happen. And I went, what's behind the no? And where's the yes? Of course, by the end of the movie, then she said yes, and they went off, and happily ever after. Yeah. But I find myself more often when something drops in my awareness that I wasn't prepared for, and somebody says, well, how about if we do it like this? I feel a no coming up before a yes. I'm changing that now. I want the yes first. Let's all just say yes. Yes. Do it again. Yes. One more time. Yes. Just let that other stuff go, because it doesn't have anything to do with us at all. Remember, Connie said, I so restricted my power. We are so powerful. Look at the stuff we create in our lives. Look at the messes we create in our lives. And then we sustain them. We have the power to sustain them, sometimes for years. It's astounding. Think of what would happen if all of that power were put into creating greater peace on earth, creating greater peace in our families, in our own relationships. That's what this work, the Revolutionary Agreements, does. It helps us to learn how to collaborate and how to join and to use our diversities as a source of greater power, greater ingenuity, greater creativity than any one of us could come up on our own. Absolutely. And I'm on my knees, searching. Anybody been on their knees? Oh my God, I'm wearing out I'm wearing out the knees here, searching for an answer. It's not down there, guys. I checked it out. It isn't down there. It's up here. And since everything in the physical is a lowering of the frequency of the infinite, we can't contract. Ernest Holmes says, since we cannot contract the infinite, we shall have to expand the relative. We can't squeeze the infinite. Anybody watched some of the Hubble telescope things? The gases that are 100 light years long, in which the womb of stars, where stars are birthed. How are you going to squeeze that into this little box? It's not possible. So we have to expand, and how we do that is raising our vibration. And we don't do it down there on our knees. We do it standing here, standing tall, expressing ourselves freely, openly, and audaciously, and saying, if you don't like it, you know what you can do with that. Yeah, because it makes people uncomfortable to see how big you are. It makes them uncomfortable because they're not ready for that yet. But you are, and I am, because that's who we are and that's what we came here to be. Absolutely. I've been taking a course from Laura Henry. It's an audition class. And at the end of about the end of the class, she said, "You are a wonderful actress, but." There's always a but, isn't there? She said, "There's another level, and you're there." She said, "There's another level. When you do all the work, you do the doing, you're solid, you're focused, you're concentrated, you get in the audition, and then you let go of control. And that's when the magic happens. And you let it take you where it wants to go. And that's where the magic happens. That's where the magic happens in our lives, when we let go of control, when we're willing to let go and let something greater than we are." So, this is the thing I wanted to read you. This is fabulous. This is Reverend Michael Gott, is best known as a singer and songwriter, but he's also a wonderful minister. And he wrote, "I've been through many, many difficult things in my life when I've exhausted everything I knew how to do, and it still wasn't working. And then I got through it by connecting to a power greater than I am," as Ernest Holmes used to say. He said, "The paradox is that this divine unlimited power is greater than we think we are. But it's not greater than who we are, because who and what we are is this power at the level of our acceptance of it. Are you ready to accept more, another level?" Yes! I thought so. Yeah, me too. He said, who and what we actually are is this power. Often it's only when I'm brought to my knees by life. It was all through everything I read this week was brought to my knees, like surrender, give it up. I got it, okay? When I was brought to my knees by life, that I could look beyond the human, that my conditions, to glimpse the truth. So I want us to say, today I surrender to the limitless power of God as me. Today I surrender to the limitless power of God as me. Absolutely. Reverend James said, "There's so many changes going on in my life, I can't even catch up." Just when we think we've got it all under control, there's that word again. Then change shows up, doesn't it? And but it says, Ernest Holmes wrote in the Science of Mind textbook, nature will not let us stay in any one place too long, just long enough for us to learn what we need to learn there. If we stay too long, we get too rigid, too complacent. Nature demands change that we may advance. That's life with the big capital L. Nature demands that you change so that you may advance. You don't want your children to stay 4 or 12 or 15 or 20 forever. You want them to continue to grow, continue to evolve, continue to expand into life, because there will always be more. And that's what life is asking of us as well. Just because you're 40 or 50 or 80 or 90, it doesn't matter. There's still more. As long as we're here, there's still more. It's the nature of life for us to expand, and we'll keep doing that. So the power is not greater than we are. It's just greater than we thought we were, and that's not the truth. The power is who we are. We're not the boa constrictor that has a grip on life. We're letting go now. We're lightening up. Lightening up is the 12th agreement in the revolutionary agreements that have been used by the President Clinton's transition team when he came into office, been used by Gorbachev in the Kremlin, and they're all over the world. I think they're more effective in business than they are in our families even. They're powerful, powerful agreements, and I hope that you'll join us on Wednesday. Just know that this power to choose, that your choosing in every moment is within you. And the power that is in you to choose is limitless. You're not limited to what you can choose. You can choose beyond anything that you're aware of right now. You can choose something that is beyond your awareness. I awoke out of my sleep, out of a deep dream, with a knowing. I heard it just as clear as could be. And I went, okay, I'm going to act on that. It was something telling me something I need to do. A simple sentence. And I went, yes, I got it. So listen to the calling. Are we human or are we dancer? Yes. Yes, we are. We're human dancing. We're dancing humans. We are one, both, and the same. It's not separate. Just because I appear to you like this doesn't mean that you can't see my light. Just because I look in your eyes doesn't mean that I can't see your heart, feel it beating, and feel your love flowing from you to me, or from me to you. We are human. We are dancers, all of it. And I love you. God bless you. And so it is. Namaste.